inheritance that are explained by Mendel's experiments are often referred to as simple Mendelian inheritance, inheritance controlled by dominant and recessive alleles. However, many inheritance patterns are more complex than those studied by Mendel. Hi, and welcome back. In today's biology segment, I'm going to talk about when heredity follows different rules. When heredity follows different rules. Incomplete dominance, appearance of a third phenotype. When inheritance follows a pattern of dominance, heterozygous and homozygous dominant individuals both have the same phenotype. When traits are inherited in an incomplete dominance pattern, however, the phenotype of heterozygous individuals is intermediate between those of two homozygotes. For example, if a homozygous red flower snapdragon plant, RR, is crossed with a homozygous white flower snapdragon plant, RR, all of the generation 1 offsprings will have pink flowers. The new phenotype occurs because the flowers contain enzymes that control pigment production. The R allele codes for an enzyme that produces a red pigment. The R allele codes for a detective enzyme that makes no pigment. Because the heterozygote has only one copy of the R allele, its flowers appears pink, because they produce only half the amount of red pigment that red homozygote flowers produce. The RR homozygote has no normal enzyme, produces no red pigment, and appears white. Codominance, expression of both alleles. In chickens, black feather and white feather birds are homozygotes for B and W alleles respectively. Two different uppercase letters are used to represent the alleles in codominant inheritance. One of the resulting heterozygous offspring in a breeding experiment between a black rooster and a white hen is shown in the picture. You might expect the heterozygous chicken BW would be black if the pattern of inheritance followed Mendel's law of dominance, or gray if the trait were incomplete dominant. Notice, however, that the heterozygous is neither black or gray. Instead, all of the offsprings are checkered. Some feathers are black and other feathers are white. In such situations, the inheritance pattern is said to be codominant. Codominant alleles cause the phenotype of both homozygotes to be produced in heterozygous individuals. In codominance, both alleles are expressed equally. Multiple phenotypes from multiple alleles. Traits controlled by more than two alleles have multiple alleles. The Pigans pictures show the effects of multiple alleles for feather color. 3 alleles of one gene govern their feather color, although each pigeon can have only 2 of these alleles. The number of alleles for any particular trait is not limited to 3, and there are instances in which more than 100 alleles are known to exist for a single trait. Sex determination. Recall that in humans the diploid number of chromosomes is 46 or 23 pairs. There are 22 pairs of homologous chromosomes called autosomes. Homologous autosomes look alike. The 23rd pair of chromosomes differs in males and females. These 2 chromosomes, which determine the sex of an individual, are called sex chromosomes and are indicated by letters X and Y. If you are female, your 23rd pair of chromosomes are homologous XX. However, if you are male, your 23rd pair of chromosomes XY look different. Males usually have one X and one Y chromosome and produce 2 kinds of gametes, X and Y. Females usually have two X chromosomes and produce only X gametes. It is a male gamete that determines the sex of the offspring. So here you can see it in this illustration. The sex chromosomes are named for the letters they resemble. So in the case of the female, their chromosomes look like two X, and in the case of a male, it looks like they have one X and one Y. The offsprings of any mating between humans will have a 50-50 chance of having two X chromosomes, which is female, or having one X and one Y chromosome, which is male. Polygenic inheritance. Polygenic inheritance is the inheritance pattern of a trait that is controlled by two or more genes. The genes may be on the same chromosome or on different chromosomes, and each gene may have two or more alleles. For simplicity, uppercase and lowercase letters are used to represent the alleles as they are in Mendelian inheritance. Keep in mind, however, that the allele represented by an uppercase letter is not dominant. All heterozygotes are intermediate in phenotype. In polygenic inheritance, each allele represented by an uppercase letter contributes a small but equal portion to the trait being expressed. The result is that the phenotypes usually show a continuous range of variability from the minimum value of the trait to the maximum value. Suppose, for example, that stem length in a plant is controlled by three different genes, A, B, and C. Each gene is on a different chromosome and has two alleles, which can be represented by uppercase or lowercase letters. Thus, each diploid plant has a total of 6 alleles for stem length. A plant that is homozygous for short alleles at all three gene locations might grow to be only 4 centimeters tall, the base height. A plant that is homozygous for tall alleles at all three gene locations might be 16 centimeters tall. The difference between the tallest possible plant and the shortest possible plant is 12 centimeters or 2 centimeters per each tall allele. Influence of external environment. Sometimes individuals known to have a particular gene fail to express the phenotype specified by the gene. Temperature, nutrition, light, chemicals, and infectious agents all can influence gene expression. In Siamese cats and Arctic foxes, as shown in the picture, temperature has an effect on the expression of coat color. Influence of internal environment. The internal environments of males and females are different because of hormones and structural differences. For example, horn size in mountain sheep is expressed differently in males and females, as shown in the picture. Male pattern baldness in humans and feather color in peacocks also are expressed differently in the sexes. These differences are controlled by different hormones, which are determined by different sets of genes. An organism's age can also affect gene function. The nature of such a pattern is not well understood, but it is known that the internal environment of an organism changes with age. Understanding how genes interact with each other and with the environment gives a more complete picture of inheritance. Mendel's idea that heredity is a composite of individual traits still holds. Later researchers have filled in more details of Mendel's great contributions. I hope you found this video useful. Thanks for watching, and until the next one, bye!